Now, to put the numbers into perspective, and Kenya joined the world in marking World AIDS Day with the national celebrations at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. This year's theme, One Race, One Goal, highlighted the sharp rise in new HIV infections among adolescents aged 15 to 19. As you'll hear now from Mary Muoki, nearly half of last year's new infections were recorded among children and teenagers. Thousands participated in the World AIDS Day half marathon as leaders acknowledged that the country is racing against time and running out of it.
This year's World AIDS Day began with a literal race, a symbolic reminder of Kenya's urgent race against HIV. Thousands laced up for the half marathon under the banner One Race, One Goal. But for the country, the real race is to halt a disturbing surge in new infections among adolescents aged 15 to 19 years. Kenya recorded 19,991 new cases in 2024, with the majority occurring among young people.
41% occurred among adolescents and young children aged between 15 and 24 years. 41%, almost half. Bearing in mind that the Kenyan population is 59% below 24 years. If you expand that bracket, 75% of the adult new infections that occurred in 2024 were among adolescents and young people aged between 15 and 34 years, 75%.
Stakeholders cite limited access to testing and prevention services as a key driver of infections among the youth. The government says reversing this trend will require strengthening comprehensive sexuality education, expanding youth-friendly HIV testing, and addressing the socio-economic pressures that fuel risky behavior.
If we have to eliminate this threat by 2030, we must do things in a way that we have not done them before. Even if that sex education will have to be approved by the church.
As participants pounded the tarmac chanting this year's theme, the government reviewed progress made over the last 5 years. Yet for the third year in a row, new infections among the youth continue to rise despite multiple interventions. People living with HIV say access to services has become increasingly difficult, partly due to the stop work order that disrupted key HIV prevention programs nationwide.
To make sure that we make it lighter for everyone who is living with HIV, to make it lighter on the socio-economic burden, the things that families have to go through to decide on care. And sir, this is really what we are doing right now, called integration and consolidation. And
we recognize the urgency to stem new HIV infections, particularly among the adolescents and young people. Furthermore, AIDS is the leading cause of death among adolescents in Africa and the second highest cause of death among adolescents globally, according to the WHO report of 2014.
As Kenya marks this year's World AIDS Day with renewed urgency, one message echoed across Nyayo Stadium: the fight is far from over and the country cannot afford to slow down. Mary Muoki, Citizen TV.